Você pode sair lá, acabou de comentar, malu hidup gua bahwa Katolik ilmahina ya apa te masih ayat kita lo kan Indonesia apa te uang taran lo kita tahu ke tai Indonesia pe na ini ayat kalau tahu tahu ada ke kamar tadi pak tahu kami ini kemudian how to follow out what happened after Cypress City. Kemudian mau lagi hari ini, questa apa? Kemudian terhadap hari itu aku kumpuli, apa pokoknya saya lalu follow itu pokoknya mau difahami jadi teks yang lalu saya aku tapi follow pokoknya dibuat komunikasi đó của Chinese qua từ của trên về tao được là một phần thì cái này đang cái của tao của tao của ba thì của cái số của thì cái ai của ba thì số chỉ là tốt là thôi và ai thì sao bảo ai tao của ba thì nó với ai đấy thì có tàu cũng với một là của tàu oxy cũng này tàu lao cái số cái tàu lên đeo tàu dài còn này tàu lao cái số cái tàu lên đeo tàu dài có phải tàu đi lên đeo tàu dài thì tàu đó thì phải tu tôi cái tàu dài thì tàu đó thì phải tu tôi cái tàu dài hai người tàu đi mà luôn hai ta hay đều anh là có ai nghe rồi có ai nghe rồi và có thì anh có tôi cái con tua sẽ tu để cái sẽ là cũng quá nhưng mà tu bây á ta cái con tua hay tàu ta cái con tua nó có cái con á bây giờ cái con tua thì tu bây thật ra là ta Vesi wano, bahang fu vesi wano.
Ikai
tenga que tau ni o ma te mo ko ya la te ta no ko ya la ta te ko que tau que tau ya la ko tu ni ko se pa ki ai a ko ma te tau chi o ma ki ai ko ta no wa ko chi o que se pa ki que ta no ka ta ni la ai ko kapau te o ta no ai wa ki a ho que ta no ka ta ni la ai foi logo ta ni la i he pata revolution ka ko i ma ni la ta ai le ha mo fu o ta no ai a ko que la mo me ko la wa ki o kai fa ma fa ne so ti ka na to fa wa pe ane ula ki la que fa no que ro ta na ko foi logo ta ni ai ko na na ko kai fa ma fa ne so ti ka ba pe fa ba o mai ne ko ya o pa ni que ro pa ni que ta ai me ko se ma que ko ro tu ko ni ka pa ko se ro ko wa he fo ma ro tu ko wa ro tu ai ti ro tu na a ko su su ka ta ko sa ko a ko fa ro tu ya ko la na ke ko su ro tu se la ko su ro tu ya o ko ka pa te ko me ta ka pa te ma ro tu e ki o sto a te ke ro te a ko pa ko ro la ki me a ro ta ne ai ko te ta ai me a ko ke ro to ya ta ki ro tu o ya o ko te ha ma se de so ko ma pa ka pa ka o indicate ka mo to o la ki me ki fa ia ta to ko to o pa te ta o te fa e mo ai ko ta no ka ta ni la ko lo ta ni la ko na ko e ko wa la ki lo ta ni ka mo ka pa te mo fra se ta no wa na o se foi wi de to la to ya mai a le lo ta la ka ta ni la a mi a na ho ki he le lo tu ai ko wa na e ton ko wa de ha ka le de se ta no ko ta mai ka to ai ma ho te ta lo tu fa ta lo tu ta ko ne a ke ai ta ni mai ko ta ni ko wa te ai la ta ni ta ko foi ta no ka ta ni la o la ko ai se pa o pau que ta o va ma hi ki o tu ko ta la pe ya to fa to me ko se ni o ta to io tanto ta la que pa que ni ma ko ta ta io
Cuando tú o porque ahí la proteja María contigo a tu kuma bo porque ahí la proteja María para porque yo es que estamos poco y María María tu kuwa ai pa con la vida ya ya hoy ai con esto filia a María Casina de ta to wa ya de ta con ya ta que ni ta fe que te ni ta mo de ta ni na ai ni
que tu time na tua que vai ter tão frio. Tão time na te moro tari aki tana ke o tua ku ka me parani te o pure au ko ya o ko ni pe mana to ni lewa ki he te moro ka ni ka io e pure e parani te ka e tama yo e ko sio kara vai o tua foto atu ai fatata le o feito e tamo so mamani o feito ma ui ai pe mo ui ta hai to vi ka te ai pe ka kai e feito o ya ma le va ka ne ka no ko so ya ka e pa ma fai ai te volo ke ha o fai ne pe ke ha o se fai ya fa a poco le va fai ta te ai ta ni ta ta to ka o se fa ta ni ka le va ke ha fa ma fo ha si o pe ka to o na win ka ro ka mi na fa o se fa ai ne ta o ni ta te ko to ai fa na so pe fa ka ko mo ne ko wa pe ma ni ka ke uno muy así la cara le va a ir a cuatro tiene fai per un pe ka wa na ke muy así ta se va que no ha que o tu ha forma fai a te o que ne fai na agua o ma que así ka que no ai que no fo que te ai que ta kai a te o ma ni mate no fie fai e come che ta o ko ta ya o tua ka wa ke ne permission to ba ni mo fo que te fai ka ne fie fai pe ba e anche a corre che o ti da ko e sta no ko ni o pure fa o mai no pe da pure fa pa ko tua ko still in control ka mi hana ko brifo no ma fai ka ko mai roba fo fo ma ko ai vai te bo e fai ti tanata ko to pe e che o vai il malo o be malo la kai malo o be malo si ha per o fa nata e nata be ai te bo e che la poi ai ko la ia ko fa ma na ma so pe o lu in mai io lava ka to e fa pa ki ko ni no fa ma fai pe o to no fo pe no fa fo pe o to no fa ma fai te bo fa ta come fai che fai ai poi fai
o se tano ma io te ya o wa o qui con me ma io la pone che fa to dai o poi o ma io o da wow ma io a ora o fai o hanno la tanto ai dai o ma la au con mo o fai se papi da ora con una che io ai quel fai la dai che io mi ho poco ai quello tanto a so che Tapato e la fatto poi ma sai con una poche alla se taglia qualche qua a giocare a me la foto ai una più proprio che mo allora con me ma io ai a se taglia se va bene mo o se è la tavola ma poi o se una poi questo che ho qua o dare se taglia con il cuore per dove ho fatto por una tapo por el pueblo de tapo como me ha dado la necesidad por el pueblo de tapo rai tapo igual igual pues hablando a sempre hay por lo que está vivo io
o che abbiamo votato immagino che il capo mi ha fatto e perché se fa che fai molto che vorrò con la come sai che da una uccisione a quello lì mi quando poi mamma mia per me devo fare di che vorrò nave da mai nave un cavolo siamo cavoli mi ha detto che una cosa fino a per me non la per promozione ma la uscito anche quello che ha fatto e cavolo pareva fai un quelli ovviamente perché ho devo con gli altri per fare che fino a proprio da tutto Per me è un po' in mamma, per se fatti ai te volumi che sono africani. Per me è ne ha la cosa poi in mamma. Ma per me è poi che cavo vai alle volte che hanno detto che anche quello che volava perché ha un po' come il corpo qua che ha un po' di cavo e per fatti che si può che cavo mi che si volumi nella mi ha dato il lavoro che calcava e poi viene a tagliare le colpate che sono buone cade bene le colpate per mamma e per tu poi fa la faccia e per la
Story of March 8, 2025. Jin Suk was only 2 years old. His mother, a woman of unshakable, wasn't his own. Ever. The question haunted him. He was a teenager, reached his breaking point, and tore it in half. Mom, for 10 years, Jin Suk lived on his own. He despised Christian. One day, accident. A foot to smoke and stumbled upon a quiet park. His eyes fell upon a Bible verse engraved on a stone. He had no memory of it. Then, tears filled his eyes. He murmured, with the cigarettes, God, if you exist, my life to you. His mother recovered. A lost soul searching for a place to smoke. Mother, once heartbroken for others. Out of his church, he gave them love. They know they have a heavenly Father. Now, they meet the Father he never knew, the man who once prayed for.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ những video hấp dẫn.
Happy Sabbath, church. I'd like to welcome Henny. Let us sing. I'm a Mali. This family of God to all hearts, and I'm so glad. Believe. Oh, tao family. To one of this, be a kill, he sees so.
blessed today.
Us as we
It is now time for the. It is now time for the. I thank you for this day, Lord, and bringing us to a lovely day, Lord. I thank you for waking us up to a new day. Please bless this offering, Lord, and to please bless this offering, Lord, and to please.
Sing into my heart, Lord.
questions just to get to know him, as it is his first time at Bidwill. We are very blessed.
Welcome. I'm really looking forward to today, and yes, it's always good to travel and be part of your community today.
Your name, because not all of us knows who you are, and also if you can tell us which church you attend, and also what you do in the conference.
Yes, so I am Pastor Darren Pratt, and some call me the Balloon Man, and some call me the Chicken Man. I do also have chickens and involved in poultry. Alongside, some of you might know, Melly Ophir. Anybody know Melly Ophir? Yes. It's International Women's Day today also, so she sends her greetings. We've been going in Melbourne all week at advisory, so when I told I was coming here, she asked me to bring her greetings to this community, and we have a lot of fun working there together in the office. So my role is children, busy, but I love what I do, and when I do attend my local church, which is probably 2 or 3 times a year, I am a member of Thornley, Seventh-day Adventist, but generally...
So the next question is, when did you start making balloons, and what is your favourite balloon you have made? Now the reason why I'm asking this because the first time that I have seen Pastor Darren was during COVID, with preaching and also making balloons at the same time, so that's why I wanted to ask that.
Yes, so my first balloon I made now was for about 25 our trainer, and he placed a balloon in my hand and said you can use this in ministry, and he shows how to make the basic balloon dog. And I thought, I can do that. And so I began twisting and shaping and taught myself, and 25 years later, when churches shut down, the question about what can we do for our children, what can we do for our families, and so Abide found the ministers up there in Kirrabong pivoted on the spot, and we started filming in a socially distant way. On the very first week, we had our first episode filmed, produced, all that time right through COVID. They just finished producing things. It's about 2 years ago with the last episode. But yeah, so we did an episode a week and worked a week in advance to get those episodes out. Our families during COVID, so God's really blessed. And now I saw Dr. Steve Case 2 years ago and showed him what I've done with that basic dog. And probably the big tractor called Big Lizzie, which is another story of why I'm here in ministry, which tells my story. But today's another story. But when I showed him what I've done with the dog he placed in my hand, he said, I can still lift the dog. Whereas I've taken it and God's used it for his purposes. That's what God does when someone...
The kids, they want to know what's your favourite food.
My favourite food is, oh wow, okay. You've got to get some fresh beetroot. You know what beetroot is? You take a fresh beetroot, either buy it or grow it, and you've got to boil the beetroot, and you've got to salt it, and straight onto a sandwich. Fresh beetroot sandwich is my favourite food.
Alright, we might have to try that out. Thank you so much. May the Holy Spirit be with you as you preach and do what you're good at for the kids. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just get set up, and then we'll... And I need to find my pump and get my balloons ready. Okay, I need that one, I need this one, and I think we're ready to go. And shape it. That's what I call what I make on Arnie Shackleton's kids' balloon kaboom. You don't see the kaboons normally because they edit them out, but they do go kaboom. But hopefully, if I twist it and I shape it, it's going to become something beautiful. Today our theme is we are the children of God. And look at where you come from and what you're wearing has special meaning for each of you and for your families and for your culture. But got to remember that above culture, we all belong to one family. And we are part of God's family. And we're all the children of God. But today I want to look at what it takes for us to be placed in the centre, as our Bible passage says, and to be the children of God. And that's going to be my balloon. So you place it. 2, 3, 4. Soften it. And I'm going to tie it off. Bubble at the top. Pinch it and twist it. I'm watching for someone, by the way, take my balloon home, making one big balloon. There's some sitting up nice and straight. That's paying attention. That's not wriggling too much. There might be the mums and dads, and for the older ones that don't go to sleep. Or maybe the young ones too. Someone take my balloon home, and I always watch for that person. Another twist there, another twist here, and I'm going to pinch it again. Oh, a bit more past there, and about there. And pinch this bubble again. And there it is. It's not finished yet. It's a work in progress. You know, boys and girls and mums and dads, we are all works in progress as God takes us and twists us into an amazing creation. Hey, Dad, when things go wrong, boys and girls, maybe you get the wrong side of bed and it just seems like everything goes wrong. You burn your toast, or your bike tire's flat, or you miss the bus to school, or the teacher yells at you for something you didn't do, or maybe someone, mum and dad yell at us. All in His time, and He has placed eternity in our hearts. You know, boys and girls, God has placed eternity in our hearts right now. I said no one can understand what God has done from the beginning to the end, but He has placed eternity in our hearts. In fact, research says there's a God-shaped hole in all of our hearts. I could do a whole program. So, and I'm going to tie this in. Okay, we're out of balloon. I'm going to pop this bit, but I don't need it anymore. Are you ready? I'm going to go pop. 1, 2, 3. And there it is, tied in. So it doesn't go down. Okay, to finish this balloon off, I need to take another piece of balloon. I might do this one. No, I'll do this one. I'll take a piece. We do use this one on the end if I can, very carefully. I don't need a lot, just a bit. And tie it off. And now I'm going to join this balloon into the other one to complete what I'm making. That one. And twist it through the middle. Carefully pass it there, I don't want to pop it now. It's gone pop. That wasn't meant to happen. Do I give up? Do I run away and cry? Do I throw a tantrum and lie on the back and kick my legs and scream and yell? When things... Oh, no, I'm not going to save it. I'm going to bring that, because God promises to come in and do the fix and get things back on track. And this wasn't scripted. Got to break this end off. God comes in and does the fix and gets things back on track. That's where God's written His story. These people who were like you and me, not perfect, but authentic. And when things go wrong, don't ever, ever, ever give up on God, because He never, ever, ever gives up on us. He comes in, into our lives, into our hearts, and does the fix, and gets us back on track. He that began a good work in you, in Philippians, it says, will complete it. And there it is, a small part of something bigger. It's a part of something bigger. This is just a small part. And sometimes on this earth, we can only see part of what's going on, and we wonder what's happening, but God sees and knows the bigger picture. And he says sometimes we don't understand. It's like looking into a cloudy, foggy mirror and not seeing perfectly, but God sees perfectly. That's what matters. So this is part of a bigger picture. So I'm going to take this, and I made a front end earlier. Front end. Get it right way around, Pastor Darren. Yep, this way. And that way. And join it onto the front end. And this side. And join it in. A work in progress, just around through there and around here, drawing it in. That's it. We're going to have the front end. It reminds me of a story that happened in Australia back in the year 1925, when the word went out from the Western Australian Conference saying we need someone to take books, to take literature, to tell people about Australia, and drive from Bickley in Perth to the Northern Territory, Darwin, and visit the farms and tell people about God. Well, it just so happened that Neville Westwood had just purchased a second-hand car. We'll put a picture up. This picture shows, it's coming up, the second-hand car come up shortly, and he found a very tall man. It's a very small car, but he decided that he was going to go on an adventure and was going to drive that car across no roads, no petrol stations, no NRMA to call. He was going to head out and do it himself. Well, his mate Davies said, if you're going, Davies, in 1925, hopped into their 5CV and off they went to Darwin. Visiting the farms. No roads, no Siri, no, say to Siri, take me to Bidwill, Tongan SDA Church, and you trusted it will, and it did. You can't, because no one's ever driven around Australia before, so you've just got to go and hope and pray. And off they went. Do you think it was easy? No. And these cars, Citroen 5CVs, aren't made for Australian roads or no roads. And so the biggest thing was flat tyres, rocks and thorns and hitting sticks and things. And he said we went through flat tyres, never twisted like anything. In the end, we'd have to put some grass into the belt, use the farmers, a blacksmith shop, to create patches and to fix up the tyres. There's even a story of them using cowhide skin to patch up a tyre just to keep the show on the road. Does that sound Australian? Keep the show on the road, don't give up. That's what they did. We'll keep going, Pastor Darren. So I'm going to attach the back end, because every good front end needs a back end. So I'm going to tie in the back is behind us. We have nothing to fear. And boys and girls, remember that. No matter what happens in your life today, or what happens in your life tomorrow, or in 10 years' time, or in 20 years' time, if God is in your life, it's come apart. Do I give up?
No.
Do I run away and cry? No. When things go wrong, and they do, don't give up. Ask Jesus coming to have the show back on the road. You know, the Bible, the story says that Westwood and Davies got way out west as they were travelling. There were no petrol stations, they just had to beg fuel off the farmers. Some of those had machinery, and so you couldn't lose fuel in the desert. And so Westwood put his finger into the hole in the fuel tank. The fuel tank was just under the front end, so he had to reach under and find it, but he couldn't see, and they kept his finger in the fuel tank until they got to the next station, where they drained the fuel, took out the tank, used the blacksmith shop to weld it up and get the show back on the road. When things go wrong, and they do, don't ever, ever, ever give up, because God, Jesus, never, ever, ever gives up on you. Well, as you can see, they got to Darwin finally. Mission accomplished. But being two young lads, let's just keep going. As the map shows, this car kept going right around and got them sent to various major towns in front of them, and they kept on going. Through bush, no roads, talking to the farmers, staying with them, telling about God, patching up their tyres, and keeping the show on the road. You know, if we're parents going to pass on faith to our children, I want to talk about 4 things that help this Citroen 5CV4. The first tyre, make sure you get it the right way around, Pastor Barry. That way around. Sometimes I put them on wrong. The first tyre, put it on this side. And that is the tyre of mentoring. The tyre of mentoring. You know, research says that most kids in Australia can't even name one mentor besides their parents. One is one of the big things here in Australia. But research says we could put one extra person in the life of our children, one of all the children here, who speaks into their life, a bit like an adopted uncle or auntie. That child is 26% more likely to stay in the church and grow up in the church. Just one extra mentor. I'll take that as a dad, and now as a granddad, I have an 18-month-old grandson. But the same research says if we can, a Pathfinder leader, that's a youth pastor, that's a children's ministries director, that's an adopted grandma or grandpa, someone sitting here today that feels lonely. 5, we, the Bidwill Tongan Church, can very quickly become that village that surrounds these children if we can put the 5 into that we put the wheel of mentoring in place. But I need another wheel. I hope the tires all stayed up, Pastor Darren, so another look. Another wheel over here, wheel number 2, actually the right way around, over here, wheel number 2, and there it is, the wheel of parents. The wheel are likely to adopt the faith they see in their parents. But here's the problem for me as a dad, and me as a pastor, and now me as a granddad. It's not the faith they see on Sabbath when I'm all dressed up and go to church and look religious. No. Yes, that helps. But the faith we're more likely to pass on is a 24/7 faith. How I treat my wife Lisa, how I parent my children when I've had a really hard day at the office and just feel like giving up and going back to Mildura and picking grapes. So much easier back then. That's where I grew up, Mildura, Victoria, and I grew up on a grape farm, and picking grapes was what I did. Going to work, going home, cooking dinner, and gardening, and feeding my chooks, and all the things that I do in my 24/7 living. It's how God works in that. In my getting up time, in my going to work time, in my marriage time, in my parenting time. But if I can be authentic, especially when I get things wrong, and I apologise to my wife, I apologise to my children, they can we start again. It's in that authentic living that faith is passed on. So I call this wheel the wheel of mentoring, this wheel the wheel of authentic parenting. Authentic parenting, where faith is passed on. But we need 2 more wheels, don't we, boys and girls? Yes. The car's going to go. I need 2 more wheels, so I'm going to... Any more wheels in here, Pastor Darren? Yes. Now the front wheels provide the steering. The back wheels make sure there's good traction, unless you've got front-end steering, which I don't like, but when there's 4-wheel steering, it's even better. But I'm going to put the back wheel on, and the back wheel is the wheel of story. The wheel of stories they need to defeat the dragons. A lot of dragons out there. And we need to tell stories of the Bible. I'm here because my mum read Arthur Maxwell, my Bible story, to me every single day. I'm like, great stories of the Bible. You hear stories of the early church, Acts of the Apostles, but also the early church was set up, and the great matriarchs and patriarchs, and the stories of the early church. Stories. Why do we exist? Just like this story today, the story of these people, these 2 blokes that drove around Australia. Those stories. Why does the Adventist Church exist? And what are our stories? And they need to hear stories of the church local. What is this about Bidwill Tongan Church? Who started it? And what makes this church tick? And I'm sure some stories here that can already be told about Tongan Church. Dads and grandmas and grandpas and uncles and aunties, why are you here? Why are you a Christian? Why are you an Adventist Christian? And where has God come through for you? Our kids need to hear that story. And as we tell those stories, our children find their place in that story. It's like God's story. That's why I'm here today. I have a story of growing up in the church and leaving the church and finding my way back. As much as I like to hear those stories, my story is a story again, and invest in her children and create a legacy that rebounds down to eternity. But we have 1 more wheel. 1 more wheel. So I'm going to pull out this one. So we have the story. Parents, number 3 was? Story. Power of story. Number 4, which is really interesting and peculiar, but also absolutely amazing and doable, is the story of the dinner table. The wheel of the dinner table. Did you know, if we want to regular family meals, you know, where mum, dad and all the kids get together around the table, pretty rare today in Australia, because we're all busy. We're busy just trying to survive in Sydney, let alone exist and create a legacy to pass on. We're just trying to get by. of our living. That's what they're designed to do. So they take our attention, not just of us, but our teens as well. And I could do a whole seminar on what's happening to our teen brains just from these. But this saps all our time. Our busyness in our work takes all our time, and now they have flexi shifts, so often mum and dad are passing like ships in the night to go to work. But research says if we can find 3 or 4 times a week where we all sit down together, come to our family meal, and it's not in the cooking. Much I love eating lovely Pacific Island meals. I love taro. I grow taro. I love choco tips. I grow choco but I eat the tips because my wife is a Pacific Islander type of food growing. I love that, but it's not in the food. It's in the conversation. It's in the slow meal. It's in what happened today. It's where did God show up for you today? It's hearing the story of mum. It's hearing the story of grandpa. It's hearing all those stories. It's in conversation. It's asking questions. It's in that toing and throwing and messiness of the research says there's no guarantees, but we are likely to pass on an authentic, resilient, lifelong faith to our children. And I can do those as a dad and as a granddad, but there's one more wheel I haven't talked about. We'll put this one in because this wheel the steering wheel. Do I give up? No. Don't give up, Pastor Darren, because God never, ever, ever gives up on you. And let me tell you, there's no absolute perfect moment to pass on faith. And the wheels come off, but don't give up. We just need to, like inscribing into stone. Tell these things to your children continuously. When you get up, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, tell these things to your children. It's like drip, 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 drip feeding. And just keep feeding. But in the end, we have to hand the wheel over to Jesus. We have to hand our children over to Jesus. Just recently, my daughter Madison, she left home. I know she's 24 years old, so maybe she's ready to leave home, but I know it was about fathers and daughters. They have your round little fingers. The United Kingdom to do nursing over there. Because she met someone that she loves over there. So she still loves her dad, but she loves Dan. And I had to hand over the wheel and let her go. And I've got to trust Jesus that the things that I've done, and that God will complete his story in her life. And so I've handed the wheel over to Jesus, saying, take Madison, she's yours. Continue to tell your story. Well, Neville Davies and Westwood made their way right around Australia, and the next photos show them crossing the Fitzroy village. You want to put that one up? Oh, one after? Yep. That's them on their way. This is the local village helping them get across the river because they couldn't get across, there were no bridges. And so the local village helped them get across to keep the show on the road. Well, in December of 1925, they made their way back. Motorcar company had heard about it and come out to Australia to welcome them because their car became the very first car to make it right around Australia. Where's that one, Pastor Darren? I'm going to take a piece of balloon. You know, that was a short Upsy, as the car's called, and Neville Davies and Westwood, you show the next picture, are now in our record books as the very first car to circumnavigate Australia. It's told in that book, you can buy it from any good Adventist book centre, called Blazing the Trail. What happened to the car? You can find the car now. They created Australian folklore. They created the keeping the show on the road. They created the never giving up on each other and never giving up on your mates. All of that tells the story of these two young Adventist boys. This stuff, these wheels, best happen what we call the 0 to 14 window. If these things are instilled before the age of 14, it's more likely to reap dividends that rebound all the way down to eternity. We are the children of God. My challenge to Bidwill is that you will be that community that every Sabbath places children in the centre of all you do. That we each are authentic role models of what faith looks like, and when they see how faith works, and when Jesus comes very soon, he'll say, "Well done, Bidwill. Come inherit the home prepared for you." We stand there with our wives, with our husbands, with our children, with our grandchildren, with our family.
And Akamalo to get Kauleka, my children's ministry. I would like to thank Pastor Barron for the lovely sermon he's given us today. And I pray and ask that the Lord may bless not only you but your family. And I also ask the Lord that he may bless the children's ministry and all the children as they have prepared a lovely Sabbath for us to all come together in the name of the Lord. And today, our last song is Open the Eyes of My...
I was
well as